Hey Brad, my case was transferred twice to the same service center, one on the 9th of July to Nebraska Service Center from California, and then again on the 29th of August to Nebraska. What's happening?
Immigration's just shuffling paperwork around. That's what's happening.
Okay. Any cause for concern?
No, it's just going to be delay.
Dang.
Gosh. Mitzi says, I'm on a J1 visa since December of 2016. I got married this year, and I got an extension to my original contract this month. I need to file for a waiver of the 2-year home residency rule. So what's the process? And do I get a no objection statement from the government or of the home country first, or does the waiver from the U.S. come through first? I'd also like to know if I have to wait to get approval before I can file for the adjustment. I'm a bit confused about the process.
I'm not sure if this was the same guy who called before, but I'm going to explain the process. If you come on a J visa, you have a 2-year home residence requirement, you're subject to 212E, whatever it is on your passport, you are not allowed to get a green card for 2 years until you physically leave the United States. Now, you can get a waiver of that requirement to go home for 2 years under one of 4 scenarios. You can get a no objection letter from your government saying they don't need your services back home, they can care less if you come back home or not. You get that no objection letter first from your government. It then gets transferred to the State Department, who has to rubber stamp it. Once the State Department rubber stamps it, you have a waiver. It's option 1. Option 2 is if your home country will not give you that no objection letter, you do something based on extreme and unusual hardship to your spouse. She will suffer extreme and unusual hardship if you guys are separated for 2 years. That gets filed directly with immigration. The third way is to show that there is an interested government agency that wants your services. They usually do this with doctors and scientists, doctors who are working in areas where there's not enough medical people, scientists who are working on behalf of the U.S. government. Those are the general ways, I said 4, but it's really 3. Those are the general ways in which you can remove that 2-year home residence requirement. But as far as the no objection letter is concerned, you get the no objection letter first, then you get it stamped by the State Department. It gets transferred. It's not like stamped, it's not you walk over and they stamp it. And then it gets transferred to the State Department. Then you get the waiver approved. And then and only then can you file your adjustment. If you file it beforehand, your adjustment will be denied.
All right, our next one comes from Sammy British saying, I have a pending VAWA case. However, I got involved with the guy who I temporarily stayed with because after the relationship with my husband ended, I wasn't working and had nowhere else to go. The thing wasn't working out as I was emotionally still hurting and it got sexually. However, after trying to leave, he restricted me and I bit him in self-defense. We were both charged with the case and the case got dismissed. I haven't had an interview yet. This case, though dismissed, will it affect my VAWA case?
Well, it affects good moral character, but it sounds like you have a very bad story about being abused and then having a man trying to assert power over you, which is a form of abuse also. It sounded like you were defending yourself, and ultimately the case was dismissed, so it should be okay.
We've got a question from Andre who said, I came to the U.S. and I got married and we had some problems and then we got a divorce. I filed to remove the conditions on my own through a bona fide marriage and I got my 10-year green card last month. I'd like to know now with the new wage law Trump is implementing, what's the best way to go about filing for my mom who's in Jamaica and my girlfriend who's here in the U.S. She's got DACA. Should I wait until next year when I'm eligible for citizenship or now before the new law takes effect?
It's not going to make any difference. The new law will take effect and both your new wife and your mother will be affected by it. You can get married to your wife and you can file for her but as a permanent resident, but you can't file for your parent until you're a citizen.
All right, D. Forbes is next saying, hey, good afternoon, Brad. Me and my daughter was living with my boyfriend in the United States, who's a U.S. citizen. We never overstayed. She was attending school on a B1B2 visa. And when we came back home, because of our 6 months was about to expire, as we were headed back to the airport, she was screened and questioned, and her visa was canceled, which I now found out it's against the law to school on tourist visa. So I would like to know if this would affect me and my boyfriend from filing the K1, K2 visa for us.
Yes, you're going to need a waiver.
Aisha said, will the public charges apply if both my significant other and I are highly qualified, well-educated, but our minimum yearly income is less than $60,000?
Yes.
Mohammed says, my mother petitioned for my brother over 21 and got approved a I-130 in 2015, but NVC did not send us an invoice number to proceed the process. So in advance, what to do? I tried to contact them, but no answer.
Yeah, you can write them is the best way.
Fares said, I'm going to be a citizen next November. Congrats. Please tell me if I should file the I-130 for my spouse now as a green card holder, or is it better to wait until I'm a citizen? And does the $62,000 a year apply to citizens as well?
Yes, it does apply to citizens as well, and you should file for her now.
All right, Samuel saying, please read today. So we're reading today.
Reading today.
I came to America with a CR1 visa. Do I need to apply for my plastic physical green card to apply for my 10-year, or don't need the physical green card to apply for the 10-year green card?
You don't need the physical 10-year green card. You file 90 days before the end of your 2-year conditional resident status, even though you don't have the card.
Still confirming the skill set my company file me as, but I want to believe EB3. Once confirmed, we'll send you the continuation of my question.
Fine. He's getting sponsored in a job.
Yeah.
They don't
No way.
They don't know if he's an unskilled worker, which is an EW category, if he's the EB3, which is a category that is skilled, where you have the minimum requirements for the job require 2 years experience before taking the job, or maybe he's an EB2, which would be a master's degree professional position. And now he's saying he's not sure what category he's in, so he will, when he finds out, ask his question. That's why I said just read it.
Brad, I heard that you said that VAWA expires at the end of the month. So does this mean I could still file for VAWA before the 30th?
I would suggest you do.
Safi said USCIS emailed my ex-landlord and asked him if I was living there with my husband. Is that normal for a VAWA case?
Anything is normal for a VAWA case. They can investigate any way they want.
Antoine Bent saying, I'm married to a U.S. citizen that wants to file for me. Got some charges for fleeing from the police after I was given a ticket for 50 and a 30. Got the visa revoked when I went to the Caribbean. What can I do?
So now they're stuck back home. Have your future spouse go down to the Caribbean.
They're married.
Then have them file an I-130, and if you need a waiver for any sort of anything you did wrong that's against immigration laws, we'll do a waiver at the end. I'm not sure.
You can get some from having charges of fleeing from the police.
Fleeing from the police is a serious crime.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know what the person was found guilty of.
Got you.
Right.
That's the main thing.
This bothers me because that went from a real simple speeding ticket to a really serious offense. 50 and a 30 is not that crazy.
Yeah, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
That was not a good day for this
No,
guy.
that was
just a very bad day.
Poor decision making on that day. That's
Don't
tough.
flee the police.
Don't flee. Don't flee. Omar said, my question is, if you don't file joint taxes with your wife after 5 years, when you're doing your citizenship, is it gonna affect you?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
There you go.
Wait, if you don't file joint taxes with your wife? Oh, I thought you meant, no, I'm just kidding. I thought they meant if they were.
No, how I understand the question is that he's had a green card for more than 5 years.
Yeah.
He'd like to file for his citizenship. He doesn't file a joint tax return with his wife. And the answer is no, it won't affect you because you don't have to prove you and your spouse are in a bona fide marriage if you've had a green card for more than 5 years. You just have to prove you pay your taxes. If you're basing it on 3 years of having a green card, then yes, you need a joint tax return.
All right, Kenny, Ohio saying, after calling USCIS saying I have not received my NOA receipt, they gave me a TIB case number and said I'll get a receipt soon. It's 13 days, yet I've still received nothing. Should I resend my petition or an email or just wait?
Wait.
Our next question comes from Fatuma, who said, my husband wants to file for me, but we noticed in his 2017 taxes that he'd accidentally filed jointly with a friend, and they had put married as filing status. We noticed it in error, and we can't submit such taxes to USCIS because it might bring up problems. What's your advice? I'm so worried. And we also have a friend who wants to give us an affidavit. What documents do we need from that friend? Yeah.
You and your friend filed a joint tax return by mistake, and you want anyone to believe you?
That is the question, as I believe. I'm rusty on questions apparently today, Brad. I'm
But
really struggling, but I think
there's
that
not a
is.
human being in the world who just listened to that question
Yeah.
and believes that your husband and this random friend somehow filed a joint tax return by mistake. What needs to happen is you need to amend it and then make you and the person, you and your husband, the joint tax return. What it sounds like to me, or what it would sound like to immigration, is that your husband's in a relationship with some other woman, and this is a business thing between you and him.
Or that was a business thing with the other woman.
Right, but something ain't no mistake.
Right, 100%.
Right.
Oh.
We got some
And
drama.
I would not have anyone affidavit saying, "Oh yeah, I committed tax fraud."
But now I'd like to amend it.
Yes, I'd like to amend that tax fraud. Right.
All right. Anna K saying, can a person who's out of status own an online business?
Yes.
Our next question, I'm so sorry, comes from Samuel. We've got the squad going crazy in the comments. Samuel said, I went to my first interview and it seems everything went well, but the officer asked me to bring proof that my first marriage was annulled. Anyway, I gave them my divorce certification. Is that going to be okay?
Yeah, as long as it was terminated and you were free to marry your next spouse, why not?
All right. Can you still saying, hey guys, question. Can I file an I-864 by myself? I have worked in the U.S. for more than 15 years before I filed for the adjustment of status.
No, because you need to show 10 years of legal employment. I assume he was not legally employed.
I had a J1 entry, but expired a long time ago.
He was not legally employed, so that was unlawful employment. You can't.
So what should they do now?
Get someone else to give an affidavit of support.
Can someone file for VAWA if their wife put him in jail with false allegations and your case got dismissed?
Yep.
Sam K saying, do I need a transcript or tax return for the I-864? I submitted the W-2, 2 recent pay stubs, and 3 years of tax returns.
They may ask for the transcripts.
And our very last question of this social media check-in is from Maxwell, who said, my girlfriend is a citizen who's a graduate student, but she's on food stamps. I'm here on a B1, B2, and a family member wants to give us an affidavit of support. She's currently studying in Michigan, and I'm in Syracuse. Could we go ahead with our marriage after my 90 days and then file before October 15th? Time's running out.
Yes, but you guys better live together. You're not even in the same state, and she still's got to get off food stamps, or you're not getting through. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.